So for this video, we have to answer some questions. The first question, which is an interesting topic, is what sociological and or criminological theories do you believe are close to your opinion of causations of deviance and crime? What have you or family, friends experienced that would lead to you having your opinion? If anything, explain. So, in talking about deviance right here, I think that one of the main ones would be for me would be like social deviations, which are acts like abusing, serving staff, or behaviors arising from mental illness and addiction, which are not illegal in themselves but are widely regarded as serious or harmful. So right here I would base myself on. So I personally would use, like I said, social deviations because I worked at a restaurant here in Laredo, Texas at Johnny Carino's, and I experienced so much abuse from my own managers at times that they would abuse. Let's say I was scheduled to go in at 10 in the morning and they wouldn't let me clock in till 12. But in those 2 hours that I was there at the restaurant, they would still have me doing stuff, helping servers and doing like putting bread, cleaning silverware. They would still have me doing stuff, but they wouldn't let me clock in. And if I were to clock in, they would take that time away. Like on their computer, they would take it away. I was curbside at Johnny Carino's, and at times when I was curbside, they would even put me as curbside and server. That was me having to weed out, me running back and forth, me having to answer the phone while taking orders from tables. It was pretty abusive. That's what I would consider it. On the other side, also clients would even abuse of us. Let's say they would order something and I would write it down the way they would order it, and then they would get to the restaurant and say, "No, I didn't order that." And I would try and talk to them nicely and politely, and they would get mad and they would call my manager and they would make a big deal out of it just to get the food for free, when there's no need for that. If you're going to order from a place, take what you ordered and pay for it. Don't make a big deal out of it. The second question here asks, do I believe criminological theory is important, somewhat important, or not that important to our development of policies impacting deviance and crime? I personally think criminological theory is important because it involves social disorganization theory, strain theory, social learning theory, social control theory, labeling theory, biology, genetics, and evolution, rational choice theory also, and social disorganization theory. Right there, it's where it all comes together. Whenever they arrest someone, or whenever someone goes to a psychologist to go talk about their problems and their background and why they committed the crime they committed, it's when it all comes together. It's when they start looking into you, into your genetics, into your social life, into like your social control also, and how you label everything, and if you get labeled under something. So I think it's a very important theory, the criminological theory. In the criminological theory also, they can define if you have a mental illness or a bad brain chemistry, even revolutionary rewards for aggressive criminal conduct. So they can also develop motivation to commit crime and the skills to commit crime through the people they associate with. So if you're hanging around with people who do drugs, you're going to end up doing drugs. If you hang out with people who go out there and rob stuff, who commit robbery, you're going to end up being deviated by that. So it's a very important theory. So for the third and last question, I am asked, what elements of the theory of deviance and crime this semester have I been surprised, confirmed, and pre-existing opinion? And I would like to examine further. And I have a big one here, right? And I would say it's moral panic. Moral panic is tactic used by moral entrepreneurs. A moral panic occurs when media fuel public fear and overreaction lead authorities to label and repress deviance, which in turn creates a cycle in which more acts of deviance are discovered, more fears generated, and more suppression enacted. So Donald Trump, here we come. I would say Donald Trump has given us all the idea of what moral panic is with this illegal immigrant issue. He is always talking about the wall that he needs and the wall that he wants, and he says it's going to be a nationwide emergency, which I just don't see fair. Ever since Donald Trump became president, he has targeted illegal immigrants. Ever since he became president, a lot of caravans have been coming down to the border, which is weird. We haven't had caravans coming down to the border in years. We haven't had the CBPs in the military had to have the necessity of closing the border in years. All because of this illegal immigrants coming from other places from Mexico trying to cross. So moral panic kicks in right there with Donald Trump. And I think he has made everyone see what moral panic is by scaring us about illegal immigrants and telling us and saying how bad they are. But not everyone is bad. That's the thing.